This is fair use, fair use. I do not get paid or benefit from none of these videos. According to the Act 1976 Act, this is only for educational purposes only. So, thank you.
And we're hearing from a SNAP recipient on edge, worried about losing her benefits next month. 8 News reporter Sarah Molina joins us live in our studio now after speaking with those impacted and a local attorney weighing in. Sarah, what do they have to say?
Well, Eric, Heather, tonight I spoke to people who say their lives would turn upside down without their SNAP benefits. Now, the governor's state of emergency is meant to protect Virginians in need, as the SNAP program could run out for more than 850,000 people starting November 1st. One recipient and veteran says this assistance means everything.
If it wasn't for my church, who pays half my rent, I'd be homeless.
Terry Martin is one of about 854,000 Virginians who rely on SNAP, a program providing supplemental food help to households.
SNAP helps me get things that I need.
She says without it, she'd have to choose between paying for rent or food.
It's going to be rent.
It's a decision thousands of Virginians could face by November 1st, as experts like attorney Majesta DeRay-Lanini say EBT cards may not be refilled due to the government shutdown.
They don't have sufficient funding for a full month's benefits for the entire nation. Governor Youngkin's statement today is kind of in preparation for the possibility that that might come into play.
On Thursday, Youngkin declared a state of emergency to provide hunger relief if SNAP is delayed, adding that the Commonwealth will provide food benefits.
It's going to impact everybody, really, at the end of the day, even non-SNAP recipients, because folks might be missing meals, kids might be having trouble at school, things like that. Grocery stores will be losing money and benefits and things.
But she says the Federal Food and Nutrition Service must complete several steps, which includes notifying states before any benefits are reduced. As of now, that hasn't happened. Still, it leaves many Virginians on edge.
Are they trying to kill us off or what? I can't walk and protest, but I can run my mouth. And that's what I'm going to do.
Government work down and the shutdown is hitting households in the DMV.
Hundreds of federal workers lined up around the block today in Prince George's County as the Capital Area Food Bank launched a food distribution event. Our Tom Fitzgerald is live in Palmer Park tonight. Fitz, you're out there talking with a lot of these people on the ground dealing with the shutdown. How are they coping?
Jim, this was eye-opening. When you tell you this was around the block, it was around the block, down the corner, and then around another block. Look, federal workers, a lot of them telling Fox 5, they have never asked for any kind of help before, but yet here they were today, people with jobs, but without paychecks, and right now trying to figure out how they're going to put food on their family's table. Take a look at this scene today. Now, this food distribution was set up especially for federal workers. This distribution went on. People turned out, they showed their federal ID, they got one box of shelf-stable food, another box of produce. They expected 150 people today. They got 371. That's just a capsule of the need in our area. A lot of people told us right now they never thought they'd be on a food line, but yet here they are.
I mean, it's strange. I never thought I'd be in a food bank line. Like, I got a raise like right before this, and now it's like the exact opposite.
Just this level of uncertainty that's really is kind of scary.
With everything is going up so high, you barely have enough to save, whereas though you can put it away for hard times.
You can hear it in their voices right there. Look, the need is real here. The Washington Council of Governments estimate that somewhere around 680,000 federal employees live in D.C., Maryland, Virginia. We have so many federal workers in our area. And the Capital Area Food Bank, in their hunger report for 2025, said already this year, 36% of families are struggling to put food on the table. There were also a lot of mixed emotions here. There was anger over the fact that these federal employees were put in this position over a political disagreement. There was also a bit of shyness about having to ask for this help in the first place.
Putting your pride to the side and asking for the help is the hardest part of all of this, because I was never the one to even ask anyone for help.
I'm not optimistic. I stopped watching the news, nothing personal, because I don't want to know. I don't want to know anything additional that's going on, because it'll just be more.
Yeah, it's depressing.
Yeah.
Capital Area Food Bank tells Fox 5 that if there's something you want to do to help these folks, donations are...
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all glory praise to my power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well and teach us his truth, and still laboring and ruling well and pushing his word and truth and sincerity. And shalom to the whole let's go on the four corners of the earth. Let's also praise the names of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and doing that also in truth and sincerity to you. I want to say shalom. This is your brother Nakah, coming another edifying lesson, Lord willing. This is like a part 2 of my lesson I did, technically. I'm going to show you that one first. See, I got copyrighted today. Some bullshit. On the Great Squeeze in the Stress. But this time, I showed you 2 videos in my state area in Virginia. And it goes to show you that people still going through it. But I got the scriptures pulled up, 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So we know that the so-called wicked, the self-proclaimed white man Esau, started with the top elite bacon families. You know, all the ones who's trying to put the squeeze on us and try to push in this chaos for the new world order. Now let's go to the word devices.
Strong's G 3540, Naima.
Naima, a mental perception through an evil purpose, that which thinks the mind throws all purpose. This is a strong definition. A perception, purpose, or implication, intelligent dispositions itself, device mind through. So this all a part of the devices, you see what I'm saying? For the new world order, and the chaos. So you can see there's a bunch of videos going around with the so-called Jake woman going crazy, saying they go steal. Now, we know AI could be involved with all that, but still, our people really would just go online and do that shit for likes. Basically, telling what they gonna do and incriminate themselves, which is very weird, but you know how Jake woman is. They love the attention, they love the likes, and all that. Now, I want to show you something. I went to Google. I put how much money they have for Virginia. When I put state of emergency food stamps. It said Virginia has declared a state of emergency and is using estimated $150 million per month from state surplus to fund emergency SNAP benefits after federal funding runs out. This plan is in place to cover a gap while the federal government shutdown continues. The exact amount of funding each household receives depends on the number of people in it. Now, the total of state budget are located for emergency funds. So I did the math of that. So you know, it's about 150. It said 850K residents in Virginia that's on food stamps. And I did the math with 150 million. Technically, if there are 850K residents that's on food stamp in Virginia alone, he only receiving $176 per month. Wow. You see what I'm saying? That's not a lot. They need to make it 850 million. That's at least $1,000 per month. But we've been telling y'all, man, don't depend on this damn devil. Now there's not tilted towards the Akim and Aquaf that may be using the system. You see what I'm saying? Because most older people need it. As you can see, the first video, the older lady, you know, she's done retired, and she can't really do as much. She's elderly, so they need it. Now, we ain't talking about the ones who actually own it, especially the believers who believe in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. This mainly go for the people who just abusing their government. Because they say in the scriptures, let's go to Isaiah 65, right? 13. Therefore, thus said the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Actually, let's start at 11. But ye are they that forsake the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, that forgot my holy mountain, that prepared a table for that troop, and furnished drink offering to that number. So a lot of people, they see the men of the Lord and how it's about ways, and they just wave them off, fan them off, or whatever. And now you in this crunch. Now you say you gonna commit heinous acts. Continuing on, Isaiah 65, verse 20. Therefore I will number you to the sword, and I shall bow down to the slaughter, because I have called, you did not answer. When I spake, you did not hear, but did evil before my eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. So what's our people doing? Just so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, especially Jake women, they making these TikToks and Instagram videos and Facebook videos saying what they gonna do. It's not inside this montage, because that shit gives you a headache. What they gonna do and all that, but they at once said they gonna pray to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua in this situation. Therefore, this said the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, behold, my servants shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed. So, you have to understand, for this time being, that this already came to pass. The reason why this is significant, we don't know how long the government shutdown going to be, or how long they'll cut off your EBT SNAP to the point that you might not be able to eat. That's why I said this might be famine, but we don't know yet. But always prepare, every single time, and get ready to pray to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Because you go to Romans, I think it's 15, maybe it's 18, Shalaka. Romans 18, let's go to 15. Yeah, Romans 15, verse 4. For whatsoever things was written for a time, we were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. So we got to apply the scriptures into what's going on to the events. To the events. To today's events that's going on around us. So we have to use the scriptures and come back to the comforter. You see what I'm saying? Because this could affect a lot of us, not just the ones on EBT, us working Americans too. You see what I'm saying? People talking about robbing, go to the store, follow you home. You see what I'm saying? These days we got to be prayed up. We need that protection. That salvation, that breastplate of righteousness from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. But I do want to go on some scriptures with famine, because this time I want to take a different route, and that's a lesson for edification's sake. But, like I said, let's go to Ecclesiastes 1 and 10, I believe, because this is nothing new underneath the sun. I believe that's 12. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. The thing that hath been, it is. That which shall be. That which is done is that which shall be done. There is nothing new. There is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything wherefore it may be said, see, this is new? It hath already been of old time, which was before us. So the reason I want to bring that up, because famine we already went through famine before. I want to get to Second Kings and chapter 6. That's why I said this is nothing new. But this time you need to prepare for it, and then we Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So let's start with 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 25. And there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and fourth part of a calf doves dug for 5 pieces of silver. So it was to the point that when it besieged, I see the word besiege. The besiege means it was ransacked. It took everything. So shut in, besieged, the shelter being closed, secure, hospitality to everybody treated as a foe. Figuratively, literally, hostile, adversary, assault, beset, besieged, bind up, cast, distress, fashion, fortity, enclosed, laid siege up, put up in bags. So basically, they got ransacked, besieged, and they took everything from them to the point that some dove shit was going for 5 pieces of silver. That's how bad it was, and it's going to get bad in these times also. Moving on, and this is the main point coming up. And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, Help, O Lord, O Lord, help my Lord, O King. He said, If Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh didn't help thee, when shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor or out of the wine press? And the king said to her, What aileth thee? She answered, The woman said unto me, Give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So basically, it was cannibalism. It was to the point that the family hit, they start eating their own kids. So we boiled my son, did eat him, and said unto her the next day, Give thy son, that we may eat him. She hid her son, and it came to pass when the king heard the words of the woman, that he rent his clothes and passed upon the wall. And the people looked, behold, he had a sackcloth upon his flesh. So the reason I went to Romans 15:4, we tapping back in those times before. Like I said, most people thinking, oh, that ain't going to happen. It's no way. It ain't that serious. It's just 1 month. Well, 1 month could turn to 6 months. How bad can it get? You see what I'm saying? You might end up turning to a cannibal eating your own kids if you don't have access to food, or you stealing to the point that they stop delivering the food trucks, McLean trucks, to these stores. Because McLean, that's why I see a lot, with the grocery trucks, it's McLean. And like the CDC trucks and shit like that. What if they stop all that? Then what? But see, you're not dependent on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, so you thinking carnally. You ain't gonna know what to eat. You just gonna go. You're gonna turn into a fucking savage, right? That's what I'm saying. So, now I do want to go to some more scriptures and close it out. This lesson is not meant to be long. It's supposed to be straight to the point. I'm gonna go to Joel chapter 1 and start at verse 1. The word of the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, that came to Joel the son of Pethuel. Hear this, ye old man, give ear to all the inhabitants of the land. Have this been in your days, or even the days of your fathers? Tell ye children of it, let your children tell their children, and other generation, that which the palmer worm have left, have locusts eaten, and that which the locusts have left, have the cracker worm eaten, that which the cracker worm have left, have the caliper eaten. So that's basically talking about famine. You see what I'm saying? To the point that to rebellious ass nations. And also remind me another was Amos chapter 4. And Amos chapter 4, I believe at 6 through 9, that's also. So this is Amos chapter 4, verse 6. And also have given you to cleanness of teeth in all your cities, and want of bread in all your places. Yet ye have not returned unto me, said the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So the cleanness of teeth is like famine. You basically haven't ate nothing, so your teeth can't get dirty or nothing. No meat in your teeth, no even greens in your teeth. That's another type of famine. And also I have withhold the rain from you when there were yet 3 months to the harvest, and I caused it to rain upon one city, and I caused it not to rain upon another city. One piece was rained up, and the piece were upon it, rain not wither. So saying that the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shah, can hold back the rain to the point that you can't, water your crops or anything, or even have water to drink, because, in these days you can actually preserve that water, have a bucket or something and drink that water. That too. Moving on. So two of the three cities wandered into one city to drink water, but they were not satisfied. Ye have not returned unto me, said the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So basically, people just being like pilgrims, migrating to place to place, searching for food and water, and they still wasn't satisfied. But you see how they said they have not returned to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and that's gonna be with a lot of our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that scattered abroad, who and the speckled birds, who look at the heathen nations, but you really Israelites. You're not seeking out the Lord. You're seeking carnal things. You're not built up in the faith for these days to come. I got one more scripture and I'm going to close it out. I have smitten you blasting mildew with your gardens and your vineyards and fig trees and olive trees. Increase the palmer worm, the same worm we talked about in Joel chapter 1, devoured them. And yet you have not returned unto me, said the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So basically saying that that's all. We can go to Matthew 24:7, but all those examples are famine. You see what I'm saying? So this is Matthew 24:7. For nation shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdom. There should be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes, and divine places. But all these are beginning of sorrow. So, I'm going to end off with that. It's a little quick 1-2 lesson. Nothing too major, nothing too crazy. But yeah, man, return back to the Lord, man, because, his servants, the elect, is going to eat regardless in these times. And it's no telling how long that people is going to go without that SNAP benefit. And people are going to start going crazy, you see what I'm saying? It speaks about that in 2 Esdras 15, and also in Daniel 12, the 4th chapter, so, a time like no other. So like Daniel chapter 12, verse 1, a time like, no other, so. But just a little short, quick lesson, just talking about the famine and how, these people are going through it. But, Lord willing, you find this lesson edifying. You got something from it. I'm going to go ahead and close it out. I want to give all glory praise to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Bahasham, Rakak Wadash, Shalom.